Okay. User asked me.
Yeah, the user asked me to reflect on the pitch and see if the different option make more
What's
sense. I'll review the pitch they have created so far and we evaluated whether a more premium luxury tone or something like that. So it is only considering the pitch part, not the entire chat. Okay.
okay?
So now it is creating three options. It has created three options in its head, alternative and recommendation. What are the three options? One is practical, second is premium sounding, and third is hybrid, mix of both. Use the practical tone for mass market, premium for high end, and hybrid for mainstream. Slightly aspirational product. Next step is choose a persona, draft a call to action. CPA is basically a call to action. So now the output is not exactly the strength and weaknesses or something like that. Now this is the reflection.
Mm-hmm.
So it is reflecting on the reasoning behind the pitch, not on the pitch itself. Okay? So there is a difference. Reviewing the pitch itself and reflecting on the reasoning behind the pitch. So there is a difference in that.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So there are three options, three sentence pitches it has given us. It has given us three different pitches because while it was thinking, it created three different options in his head. According to that, it has generated these three practical, premium, and hybrid, three different uh, pitches for us. And the pros and cons are the practical pitch, which is broad appeal, builds trust, and easy to understand. May feel less aspirational. The premium one is premium perception and margins, and hybrid is broader appeal with aspirational cues. So the recommendation it has given that go for this particular type of pitch, and there are minor wording and CPA suggestions as well, right? So now when it comes to reflection, we are asking you to reflect. We literally ask it to reflect on the its thought process instead of getting a better outcome, and ask it to come up with options whether any better options than that or not. So it has done that. So reflection is basically reviewing the entire thing. So let's just ask it to reflect on this chat, what we have done and what could have been better. Okay. So we are now asking you to reflect on this chat. So we started with asking for a square root of a number, I guess. Yeah, what is the square root of this? We started with that, and now we are asking it to, review on this chat, reflect on this chat entirely. So let's see what it comes up with. So it's basically giving us a summary of the entire chat. Now it is telling us what worked when, and what could have been better. So consciousness, some answers, especially the reviews, were a bit long. I could have kept them tighter while still showing reasoning. Then flare balance in 16 to 25 version, the slang, vibe, TM, etc. may have been overdone. I could have balanced playful tone with aspirational cues. and now it is suggesting that, going forward, I'll do these things. So it is reflecting on its own work. So self-critique and self-reflection. So self-critique is something which works on the output and it improves the output, and self-reflection is basically that works on the process of getting that output. We can call it the thought process of the model.
Where is self-reflection here then?
This part, what could have been better? This part is basically the self-reflection part. This is
Okay.
where it thought that these things
Yeah,
could have
okay.
been better.
Okay.
Yeah. So the major difference between self-critique and self-reflection is critique is basically it deals with improving the output that we are getting or the response that we are getting, and self-reflection or the reflection prompting that deals with the improving the thought process of getting that response or getting that output.
Okay. Kind of whatever already given answer, if we ask to
Mhm,
reflect it, it will then make it more better
mhm.
and correct
Uh,
its own
yeah,
suggestion. Is it like that?
if you no, if you ask to review the answer, if you ask it to self-critique, then it will
Mm-hmm.
improve the output of the answer that we have received. But if
Okay.
you ask it to reflect on the answer, it will
Uh-huh.
find the thought process it has gone through for that answer and improve that
Okay.
thought process to make it better next
Okay.
time.
Okay.
So next time when you ask for the same thing again, it will give you an marginally improved output or response for
Okay.
the same thing. So you don't have to repeatedly go back and review it again and again.
Okay.
So now just take a minute, think about these things. If the difference is clear to you, think about this thing, take a minute and tell me that where can you implement this in terms of using prompting for coding. When do you want to improve the response or outcome, and when do you want to improve the process behind getting that output? Think of something.
Maybe I can say to optimizing the code or something in one case.
Optimizing the code, but uh, what would be which one would you use for that, for optimizing the code?
I think review will be the better option. Revi-
Okay, so you review the code and it will improve the
Mhm.
code. And where will you use this self-reflection part?
Yeah, it looks similar basically. If you'll ask
Yeah,
what I understood is it's kind of similar. Both are the similar things.
it's very close. The border is very line between that is very thin.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, uh, I remember that when we used to learn computer programming in college, we did not
Mm-hmm.
have as many computers as many students we had. So most of us
Okay.
had to write the programs on paper first and wait for our turn to get the computer. But we really had
Mm-hmm.
to be sure about the program that we have written on the paper so that we can just type it out and execute it probably in the first attempt,
Okay.
right? So
Mm-hmm.
writing that program on paper, which we used to call as hand run program, we had to go back again and again and look at the program so that when we type it out for the first time, it won't give us any errors and we won't spend too much time on the computer because everyone else was waiting after us.
Okay.
So that unrunning thing, writing that program again and again, thinking about it again and again, trying that program in our head again and again, and looking for any errors, that is basically the reflection of that program, reflecting on the program, the process of getting the better output. And once we reflected on the same code again and again, let's say for 5, 10 times we would do that. And once we are confident that this program will 100% run when we type it out as it is, then that becomes an output.
Okay.
So when you directly write, let's say you're learning C or C++ language or any language, you just think of something. You think that, if I type this program like this, it will run in the first attempt. When you type it out, and then you get like uh, 10, 15 different errors and warnings during that entire typing thing. And
Okay.
then you go back, you look at those warning as error, and then you change that part, and then your program starts improving after that. There comes a
Mm.
time when there are no bugs, there are no errors, there are no warnings in your program, and then that becomes nearly perfect code for that particular scenario. So that process of writing the first code from there to reaching to a level where there are no errors, bugs, or warnings is the
Okay.
self-critique part. So you are continuously improving on the output, right? That is self-critiquing. But
Hmm.
when we had to write the program on paper first and make it perfect there only, and then only type it out one time on the computer.
Okay.
So that is reflection part where we get to change the program again and again unless it is properly written, and then we only get to put it out one time.
Okay.
Okay. So writing the program on paper was reflecting on the program again and again. Writing the program
Hmm.
directly on the computer and making it perfect with every iteration is self-critique.
Okay. Yeah.
Am I making any sense, Thomas?
Thomas? I think Thomas has missed this.
Yeah,
No.
Thomas missed this. I got a spam call.
Okay, no
Okay.
problem. I did not miss anything major. I'll just repeat it quickly.
Hmm.
What was the last? What was which was the last thing that you heard?
Self self
Critic.
critic
Self-critique. Okay.
when you read over your program how to get it better.
Mhm.
And self-reflection would be, okay, how could I better my process to write programs, I think.
Right.
Ro-
You got it right, Thomas.
Yeah.
Okay, so I didn't need you for this,
Right.
Okay.
Good.
but I need
So you
you
understood now.
for many other things here.
Yeah, that's okay. I think I have
Okay,
now started to understand your jokes.
Yeah. Actually.
Now, cool. No problem. So we'll do another prompt with this. We'll start a new chat because this context is going to mess up things.
now we start with something different. That's good.
Yeah. Now this is reflection prompt. So let's start with something. So, okay. So the prompt is again, this is something about career choices. Okay. So you are advising a fresh computer science graduate. Should they join okay, this example we have done it yesterday. Should they join a
Yes.
startup, pursue a master's degree, or take a corporate job? Giving this
Mhm.
reasoning. Now reflect. Did you miss anything important? So what we'll do is we'll copy this instead of creating a new chat. We'll go back to uh, it was free of thought, right? Okay. So this is the chat. This is yesterday's chat, Thomas, where we asked AI to suggest us if uh, we have to choose between pursuing master's degree, joining a startup, or freelancing. Okay, so
Yep.
we did that, but now we are going to ask it to reflect on that. So just a small change instead of corporate job, I'd say master's or take a startup job. job. Okay, startup job. It's already mentioned in the prompt. Awesome. So, with reasoning, now reflect. Did you miss any important factor? And what could change the record? Okay. Yesterday, it gave us a proper plan of everything, what we can do, and what kind of path we should choose for that. And let's send this prompt. Then you see when we ask it to reflect, the thinking patterns are longer. I mean, it thinks for longer times than it thinks usually for step by step or reading thing or anything like that. We did not ask it to think for a long time. We asked it to reflect on whether it missed something or would it change its recommendation or something like that. And it just keep going. See the chain of thought here, or we can say the train of thought here. So it has thought through almost all things that matter when you are making a career decision, considering the finance part, the time you are investing, the risk you are taking, what are the concrete steps you should take, what reward you are going to get, everything. And this is something it has come up with for this particular response. Decision heuristics, which signals push towards each option. What a student should have to take either of these three options. So if you have passion for research, need for an advanced degree in field like AI or PhD path, availability of scholarships, desire for a visa talent pipeline country, something like that, then you should go for master's degree. If you want, if you are interested in building something from ground up, learning quickly, you have risk tolerance. I mean, the finance or the money is not a problem for you, then go for a startup job. Then you can spend some time over there, learn a lot of things. There is a huge risk of finance, but still you will get a lot of experience. You will learn more in short span. And signals for freelancing is you can still learn in short span, but it is still risky. There is a need of flexible work schedule. You will be having a lot of freedom, the traditional office culture, uh, but you have to learn to network. You have to do things on your own. If you're stuck at work, you don't have anyone to help you. You need to constantly go out on the internet and look for things. Probably be better at prompting so that you can make use of AI. Now it is able to answer. Now it is telling it properly when to join a startup, when to pursue a master's degree, and when to go for freelance. Other than this output, actually, in this particular response, this train of thought that we have read through, that matters the most. That is something which is more important to look at because it thought for almost a minute before, you know, putting out anything as an output, and it
Okay.
did consider everything. It did consider everything that is needed to take a decision. So this is what reflection is. If you compare this, I haven't shared these links with you yet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I'll compare
You
this.
already shared it
These links I've shared
on WhatsApp. Need to check.
on WhatsApp. Yeah,
There are a list of
not I'll,
links.
yeah, there are a list
Not
of links.
today's
Well, if
one.
not, I'll share it again. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll share this again. I'll rename
Okay.
it to uh, something easy to remember, as you know, career choice. Free of cost. Okay. So I've done that. Similarly, we can do this on almost every track, and we will not only get the better output that is something byproduct when it comes to reflection, but we will improve the thinking process or the perspective of the model that we are using with the reflection technique. And once the reflection technique improves their thinking and the way you are approaching the problem, the way you are looking at the problem, uh, the outputs will improve automatically. So we will not have to review every output every single time because the thinking is has been improved. It's much like once you are able to, you know, develop a logic in your head for a particular program, you don't have to think much while writing it because you just have to follow that logic and the program will write itself. You just have to type on the keyboard, and the program will write itself perfectly because you have the logic in your head which is clear. So as you iterate in your head more times, you are basically reflecting on the logic again and again. If it is true, if it is good, if it is considering all the options, if I am being flexible with it, is it modular or not? If I am making any changes in any other model, do I have to change anything in this model as well? So is it, I don't know, just plug and play, or is it going to be part of a large process? All these things you consider when you are developing any logic in your head. But once it is ready, you can just put it out one time and the program will be ready for it. So that's the difference between self-critiquing and reflection prompting. Did it make any sense?
Actually,
You
these
could use-
topics are too theoretical.
Yeah,
So yeah, I think Thomas is
obviously you try
not
it on its
really,
own.
yeah, feeling it interesting.
Yeah,
But yes, the concept is clear. That is important. Yeah.
okay. Thomas, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the concept is nearly clear.
Okay,
For me, it says, okay, I should ask a few more questions about the background of the person who asks.
okay,
So I shouldn't give a final tip. I should ask a bit about it first.
right.
But it doesn't do this.
It doesn't do this.
Mhm.
I think it cannot do this. Or
It's ignoring that part actually. It's not it cannot do it. It's ignoring doing that part because then that will be continuously give and take of things. I mean, if it goes on to that path of asking you questions, so no matter how many answers you give it to it, it will still keep you in the loop of question and answer. So the model itself is avoiding that path.
okay,
But I observed in some areas, like I was working
Uh,
on Visual Code Studio with Copilot. It was asking me questions.
it does ask you questions. You have
Yeah.
to tell it, ask questions for more clarity, and it will ask you questions.
No, because in the initial time when I was creating a documentation for EWS2 graph, at that time I'm bit new in the coding for the with the help of Copilot. So it has taken more time than I can do it manually. But the thing what I learned is, it's just leaving the loop. And then when I just started talking, sometimes I talked rudely too with it as a emotions.
Mhm.
And then
Okay.
after that, it started asking me questions. Then I'm answering it, and then it is performing. So it has started happening like this for longer time. And then when I came next day, it started working like stupid again. So that was
Okay.
something
So
which
you
I learned.
probably created a new chat then.
Correct, correct, kind of, yeah,
Okay. Right.
yeah. But now
So you
if I
forgot
have
about.
to do the same task,
Mhm.
if I have to do the same task again, I can do it in 5 minutes. I have spent
Right.
I think more than 10 days for that. But now I can do the same thing in a loop in 5 to 10 minutes. So that's the difference what I learned at that time. And now I am connecting the same things as a
Right.
technical topics like this. Yeah.
Right. So, that's a little out of context for this. When I try to implement a new feature with AI,
Mm-hmm.
so whenever I'm working on this, if I'm adding something new on the screen, first thing that I do is I ask it to review the entire code, not to put
Mm-hmm.
out anything else. I'll ask you
Yeah.
to just review the entire code and explain the code to me that, on which screen, what things are happening,
Exactly.
which function
Correct.
is for what, and, so that I can make sure that it has understood everything properly that is on the,
Yes.
code base.
Yes. Yeah.
And once it is explaining to me things like, little things like, this particular function deals with this, but this only deals with
Mhm.
this. If there is a variation of input, then there is a different function for that.
Okay.
Then I
Yeah.
understand that it has understood completely. And then
Yes.
I explain just, let's say I have to get 10 tasks done from this AI model. Then
Mm-hmm.
I'll only explain the first task that is to be done. And that too, after explaining the task, I would ask it to ask me questions for more clarity. And
Okay.
sometimes ask stupid questions or,
Mm-hmm.
completely dumb questions that I have already answered in the explanation that I've given before.
Mm-hmm.
But uh, by asking those questions, I get to know that it has read through things and it has reference of whatever I have explained. Even if the question is
Yes.
stupid, it is using the same word that I have used. So I know that it has
Yes.
gone through everything properly.
Mm-hmm. But the main challenge is when we talk a lengthy chat in a kind of a project or something in IDEs, it
Mhm.
literally breaks the chain in between for no reasons.
Yes, that is because
Yeah.
of the smaller context window. I don't know what context window there is for VS Code.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, with Cursor, I have checked it is around 400,000 tokens for every chat.
Okay. Yeah,
So it is
maybe
more
that
than,
is something different in VS Code or something.
yeah, yeah. So it is more than free version of ChatGPT.
Because even I done the same thing with IntelliJ, and I
Mhm.
felt that yes, it is just cutting up the context in between and just talking something completely unrelated. Because if I ask to work on this particular version, it
Mhm.
just given me some better examples with the same version continuously. And after an hour when I came back and asked, just generally talking continuously talking with it, and it just started giving me the older version results, and that
Yeah,
is for no reason. So then I started keeping the habit of MD files, markdown files, to keep all standards
yes,
in here. And sometimes when I feel that it's just going out of the context, I just ask him to read this, learn this, and then talk to me.
yes. Right. So that is a good deal because I don't think VS Code has a memory function to
Maybe.
remember what to
Mm,
do or not to do.
yeah. And in
So
cursor, what do you think?
Cursor, there is a memory function, but I still
Okay.
prefer the MD files because memory function is something that kicks in every now and then. It's not always there.
History. Okay.
So having
Mm,
MD files is always a better option. That's
yeah.
I look at it as a comfort zone for myself.
Okay.
Yeah, this
And MD file
making
was.
MD files
Uh-huh.
actually that makes the
Uh-huh.
project portable with across all the AI model
Yeah.
for coding. If
Actually,
you are
MD
working
files
on VS
means.
Code, yeah,
Uh-huh. Yeah, tell me.
So if you're working on VS Code and you have a MD file with you,
Mm-hmm.
which has all the rules and regulations written on it properly, and tomorrow if you
Mm-hmm.
decide to change the IDE, go to something else, you can still carry
You
that
can
same
just
MD file
get
with
this.
the script.
Yeah,
Yeah,
correct.
you can
Correct.
do that.
Yeah,
So it works with all across all the IDEs. You can just
all the
carry
ideas.
that MD file with you, and the new AI model
Mhm.
will quickly get the context of the projects. You don't have to explain everything.
Correct. And the
That is
MD
the
file idea,
first reason.
yes. And this MD
Yeah.
file idea itself given by the model when it was working.
Okay.
So it's
Okay. Okay.
sometime if I ask to write the review or write a documentation for this particular thing, it just started
Hmm.
writing in MD file first. So I
Yeah.
just picked up there. I said that let's do the reverse thing with this particular model. So it worked. And then I
Yeah.
continued with
That
it. Then
works.
it really works. So instead of
That
memory,
works.
we
That
can
works.
use MD files here. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. That's the safest thing to do.
yeah.
Is it
This is just an experience
is it
what we.
possible
Yes,
to
Thomas.
tell Copilot
Mm, mm.
use all my repositories or all the company's repositories?
Thomas, I think it
Use
is
them?
a little bit risky,
Hmm?
according to me. According to me, it's bit risky because I heard the news that one of the programmer has just given an access with GitHub repositories, and it really changed something on the repositories. So
Oh,
it is
yes.
recommended not to
You're
directly.
right. This would be
uh,
bad in some places.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that is a bit risky in my experience. That's it.
So
And
give it
even,
Mhm.
read only access is not possible.
Read-only
yes.
access is possible, but we need to take care. According to my experience, I think Akshay will explain this bit better.
Yeah, there have been cases, Thomas, where some companies, some startups, mostly in US, they were writing and executing code with AI models. They were vibe coding basically with AI models
Mhm.
directly on the production server. I don't know why,
Mhm.
but they were doing that, and the model they were using, some programmer asked to improve the SQL queries and the database
Mhm.
schema for some function, and it
It
ran
created
through
the
the
duplicate
entire thing.
records.
No, it actually checked the entire schema that was created by the developer and thought that instead of correcting this database, it would be
Mhm.
easier to dump the entire thing and create it from scratch. And
Yeah, that's true.
without anyone's permission, it just went ahead, dumped the entire production database of the app and created everything from scratch without any backup or anything like that.
And the software crashed.
Obviously, the database went off, so software obviously crashed.
Uh,
So, I mean, nobody, even OpenAI who created this thing, they don't give database access directly to their AI model. There are redundancies, there are middleware softwares which, read and write everything manually like traditional software do, even in case of OpenAI. So, if you are using AI as an assistant for coding, you use it only for writing the code in local environments, nowhere else. You don't give it access to anything else, not repositories, no any remote access, no database access, nothing. You provide it access only for the local thing or the staging server at most, but I would say just do it on the local on your system itself so that everything else, the application works properly. Whatever happens on your device only, nowhere else. That is the best way of implementing it. That is the safest way of implementing it. Because if it makes any mistake, you will not have enough time to recover from it or even stop it from doing it. That's
so
the
I think
reason.
for that, GitHub Action is, I think, need something to be implemented, which we are already doing, Thomas, right?
Yeah.
So, but you could say, okay, you have access to my local Git repositories, but only to the local
Mm.
repositories.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Right.
can control it afterwards then. Yeah.
Ajit, you know how to do it? Then you could explain it to me. Not today, not tomorrow.
Mhm. No, I have not done this, but yeah, we can find the way.
So
Okay.
basically, Thomas, when you are opening a project in any IDE with AI, let's
ID.
say VS Code,
Mhm.
and whenever you are asking it to write some chunk of code or something, it's not just writing that code, it is also reading the rest of the code base. And at the same time, it is also indexing the code base as well
Mhm.
to understand it.
Yeah,
I don't
but
know how it happens with, yeah.
if the code it
So,
uses is in another project, it gets problem.
Yeah, we are
uh,
facing this.
It happens often for me that the code written by AI is just with functions which are not available.
okay.
Yeah, because
So it
because
is,
uh, Akshay, our structure is like there is a project and which
mhm,
is actually dependent on 10 different projects, small projects
okay,
in a Java.
okay,
And when
okay,
we try to automate the coding with the agents
mhm,
is unaware of that this function is already available in a small project where it is. So
right,
that is the problem which currently facing. So I think
okay.
MD file idea will work little bit here. We need to make some
MD file
experiments.
idea will work, but the thing is that the agents or the AI model has to index all of those projects on the system to make the MD file workable.
This is actually even possible in Eclipse because Eclipse has a package explorer, and then it we
Hmm.
can create a workspace, and we can ask AI model to stick to this particular workspace. I think workspace thing really works with Copilot, what I understood till now.
Yes,
So in
yes,
Eclipse, even it is possible, but in IntelliJ, uh, I have not explored too much in IntelliJ because even IntelliJ is little bit new for me. So I don't know
okay,
workspace thing is really exist in IntelliJ or not.
okay,
So
I
yeah,
think it's not really existing, but
and
it could look for the jars and sees, okay, in the Git repository is also the source code of the jars.
yeah,
So it could look there, but would
we'll
be
see.
nice if
We'll,
the
we'll
AI would be intelligent enough to do this.
we will ask Akshay later how to do this.
yeah,
Maybe he knows it.
yeah.
Yeah, sure.
So what I prefer is whenever I start a new project or whenever I'm working with older projects, I there are certain rules that I follow. That first, when you open the project, you ask the model to read the entire code base, whatever it is there. That's
Mhm.
the first thing you do. Then you ask it
Okay.
to uh, create, or if that is already present, then update the README file. And once that
Okay.
is done, then you ask it to compare the software development or the software requirement document and compare that with whatever has been added to the README file
Mhm.
and
Okay.
find the gaps. What is done already, what the software already has, and what is yet to be done. That gap becomes the to do for it. And then you just control the sequence of executing the to-dos, which one to do right now and which to do afterwards. And
Okay.
then in between, you just control the thing that, ask me questions before doing this, all those things,
Okay.
that kind of stuff. So this is the process I follow for myself. This is something I designed with myself, and it has been working so well.
Perhaps you could
Once,
show it
once
to
we get
us.
into that one, definitely I'll share that with you because I don't want to
Oh,
break
you
this
can
at
also
all.
do it tomorrow, or I don't know how
Yeah.
long it takes.
No, it won't take much actually. You just have to open a legacy project and I can walk you through that. No problem with that. Uh,
Mhm.
all right. We still have two more prompts to go for this thing. We'll quickly do it. Now this next prompt is about program itself. So we'll create a new chat. We'll put this prompt. Now, Thomas, I need your suggestion here. The prompt is write a Python function to reverse a string, and after giving your solution, reflect and explain if there was a simpler or more efficient way to write it. Okay, so we are doing everything in one prompt, right? Should we do it this way, or should we just put this part, write a Python function to reverse a string, and then ask it to reflect? How would you like it?
Yeah, I don't know what's better.
Okay, okay, fine. So we'll do it this way first. Let's see what comes out. Okay, so here's the Python function to reverse a string. So name of the function is reverse string. For character in S, the string is here. Whatever the string we supply, it is just reversing that in iteration, letter by letter, and it is returning the reverse string. Okay, this is the function. How it works, it has explained here. Reflection on simpler, more efficient way. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 line of code doing thing, and simpler and more efficient Python approach is, having this one, and then using the operators in Python, you can just do it in one line. Okay. Another
Yeah.
alternative is this. So here you can do it in 2 lines, and here again there is another code that does it in only just 2 line of code.
Okay.
So, uh, so this is the first output, how it works, and the reflection made the output better. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
this is the thing. So now we can say again, if it can reflect on this, and is there any better way of writing it? Because it has already reduced it down to 2 rows. I don't see any way of making it even better, but let's see what it comes up with. So now it's not about just number of lines. It is now comparing it with the performance timing. How much time it will take to execute these both things. So it is now, for now here, it was just considering on the number of line things and using Python's built-in functions. But when we asked it to reflect, it did not just change the code. Okay. It is also saying that we can think about the performance time, how much time it will take to execute the same code, which we actually did not suggest or talk about. So it has, found a new parameter of including the code on its own.
So the second version with slicing is just too Pythonic for me. I don't know Python enough to really understand this, but okay.
Okay. So should we do Java then?
Yeah, we could try it. What it says.
Yeah, let's do Java. Um, let me just copy that again.
Schön. Now my wife got me a coffee.
Wow.
Great. Mhm.
Great.
It's evening, I think, there, right? 5 o'clock.
Evening?
It's evening in Germany now, Bielefeld?
Or afternoon, late afternoon.
Okay.
Okay. Is this your usual coffee time, Thomas?
Thomas have coffee.
Not really. I don't have fixed times for this.
Okay.
3 hours. Oh, this is long enough.
Just a minute. Let me just get my laptop charger showing that battery is low and just be back in a minute.
Yeah.
Yes. One way to write a Java function. It's the only answer it gets there. Or
I think we can ask for the alternative, or maybe short code. Python code was really short.
yeah, I think Python code will normally be shorter than Java code.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it don't have any great syntax. No brackets, no nothing.
Actually, could you scroll a bit? What happened? What it was afterwards?
Akshay went to have his charger. His laptop's battery is low.
Okay.
He'll be back in 1 minute.
That's
Okay, I'm back.
important.
Okay.
All right. So this is the Java code to reverse the string, and is one way to write a Java function to reverse the string. Now, compared to Python, it's a long, long line of code, huge code just to reverse the string. Okay, I'm not so good in Java. I mean,
It's
not
okay.
compared to you guys, but I'll try to, explain stuff. I don't have to
Write
explain Java
it
to you
in
guys.
classes.
Even I'm not that good. Thomas is a
Okay.
master here.
Oh yeah. So I'll not over explain it to Thomas because just by reading he would understand what it has done. So it has written this code. Now this is probably this is what is printing it out, original string, and this is dual string. And when we asked it to reflect, is there a simpler or more efficient way? So it has done this. So basically, this code is something Ajit, you and I would write in Java. This is something Thomas would write,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah,
And
that
Right.
makes sense.
Yeah.
this one is a
So
shorter version because
yeah.
string builder seems to have a reversed method.
Method inside.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So that is the thing. So this is what reflecting prompting changes into the output because this was possible first. It could have written this code directly, but it came up with this long line of code. This and when we afterwards asked it to reflect on it, is there a simpler way of doing? It really dove deeper into the built-in functions of Java. So it found out that string builder has a reverse function to it, and that is used, and probably it reduced so many lines. Almost it is reduced to only 20% of the original code. So this is what reflection can do.
Okay.
So if you want to improve the output marginally with less prompting, and you don't want to go through iterative process, you go for reflection because it improves the thought process behind the output, and then it improves the output. So output is improved, marginally well. It goes probably 2 or 3x faster with improvement. But when you want to do it iteratively, step by step, because sometimes you have to do that as well, then you go for a self-critic prompting.
Mhm.
That is another way of putting it, right?
Okay.
Right.
So there are certain applications of these real world applications. So first thing, tomorrow I would like both of you to find out real world applications of self-critique and reflection prompting, not just in case of programming or coding, but if there are any other applications, you can explain that as well.
Okay.
Uh, some of the applications are intelligent chatbots that auto check responses for accuracy and tone before delivering it to users using bot escalations, right? Then there are customer service chatbots. There are business reports use reflection for clearer data intersection and interpretation, better insights, and more actionable recommendations. So that comes from reflection prompting because there is a lot more thinking is done before the output has been shared with you. And in case of code development, implement auto debugging, right? Uh, the workflows for auto debugging that identify logic errors and suggest improvements then and there itself. So these are what the self-critique and reflection promptings can do.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay,
Great.
Okay, so that was all for the day. I'll
Hmm.
share the links and PPT with you on the group.
Yeah, sure.
And tomorrow, I'd like both of you to come up with some practical implementation of the prompting techniques that we have learned today and yesterday as well.
Hmm. Okay.
Huh? And then tomorrow we'll continue with the next part. Okay.
And next part will be
next part will be some other techniques first. The nervous
Uh,
system, meta prompting, prompt chaining,
yeah.
using external
It's,
modules, RAG basics.
uh,
Okay, you will
that's
explain it tomorrow what this is.
no, that's the fifth module, Thomas. We are going for the fourth module tomorrow. Context management and controls.
Hmm? We are going
We are going for
to?
fourth module, module four.
Okay, you're right.
module 4, context management and control.
Yeah, okay.
Number vier, Thomas.
Oh, so you are learning German?
I did a course for 7 8 months in German. I was able to, properly communicate, but then there is a gap, huge gap of 8 years now. And since I don't have anyone to speak in German, I'm just losing the language.
I think German
No
is
practice.
also really complicated or
Yeah, and
complex.
I don't dare to speak with native German people because I'm afraid that I'll offend them with something.
Because of accent, maybe.
Yeah, mostly because of accent, and sometimes I mispronounce the words. The tense is wrong, something like that.
Missing the words happens to me in English often.
Yeah, but it's okay. I mean, you don't have the wrong accent for that, so it's okay if you miss the words. But if I miss any word in German, it sounds really terrible.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
okay, sure.
sure.
My German is nearly perfect.
Of course it is.
Yeah, it has to be.
I've got over 60 years to learn it.
Hmm.
My English
Yeah.
is not really nearly perfect, but it's good enough to
But
talk.
exactly, but good enough for communication.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I have recently started learning Russian language now, and I think that English is, a needlessly overrated language.
Hmm.
Is what?
Yeah. It's overrated. English
Overrated.
is overrated.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
became a common. That's the reason, maybe
yeah,
common point of communication.
yeah. Maybe that is
Yeah.
because. But English is pretentious. I mean, everything sounds cool when it is in English. It's like the
Yeah.
language was designed to make everything sound cooler.
Hmm.
It's also an easier language.
Yeah,
Hmm.
easy to adopt.
It's much easier to learn English than German, I think.
Yeah.
No,
You know, Thomas,
German.
our native language, mine and Ajit's native language, which is Marathi, that
Hmm?
language has all this. My native language here, that language and German has all the same things.
Relations. Yeah, yeah. I also heard this about, but when I had started discussing it, most of the people says no, it's not like that or something. I don't know, but yes, I heard a lot that Marathi and German has some common words sharing in
Not just words,
things.
all the rules are same.
Rules also the
So,
same.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. You're right.
Ajit,
yeah,
for you,
the
it
way
should
you
be
build
easy to learn
sentences.
German.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah.
it
But
was
if
easy for
I
me to
need to
learn.
crack it, but we need to crack the formula for that. How we
Yeah,
can
I mean,
join the rules in between.
the trick is, Ajit, that you don't translate
Mhm.
from English to German, you translate directly from Marathi to German. Then you will build the
Okay,
right
I
sentence.
will. I'll definitely try it today. Let's see. Yeah.
Because in Marathi, the verb is always at the end of the sentence.
Yes.
Same thing
Same
with
in
German.
German?
Verb is always,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, okay.